Hi buds, it's your buds and I here. I just have some travel dates for James and I. In October, the 17th and 19th, we will be tattooing, taking appointments at Gypsy Rose in Phoenix, Arizona. And on the 18th, we will be there celebrating their grand reopening. It's a shindig you're not going to want to miss. Here is the flyer. Please come with us, book with us, and just say hi. Thank you. Bye. Enjoy the episode.
There are some people who are love bombers because they are intentional love bombers and it's a game for them.
Notch on the old belt.
Yes, as you might say.
Yeah, but you might say.
Please don't look at my belt.
But they...
All the way around.
I'll just record myself.
Okay.
What about leaning it against your,
Tripod?
Yeah.
Dude.
I knew we had here for something.
Yeah.
Go.
Are you rolling on your end? I was going to say, do you have enough storage? I just found out that they sell thumb drives for phones.
You could transfer directly.
There's like an app that comes with it where it's like select all photos, all videos, and it just... Because I am out. Dude, I have to delete shit like every day.
He's ghetto. He borrows people's phones to take pictures of his tattoo. I'm like, it's like Friday. He's like, can I borrow your VCR?
That reminds me, dude. Can I use your phone tomorrow?
All right, but you want to ask the icebreaker? Because I feel like you're probably...
Oh, okay. So, in your opinion... Or in your professional opinion, I should say, is ghosting someone wrong or sometimes necessary?
So...
He's like heavy on the necessary.
Yeah.
I do think that it's absolutely sometimes necessary, but it's wrong to ghost someone just because you're kind of like, you're like, vibing, and then all of a sudden you decide you're not vibing, and then you ghost them and they have no idea what happened. It's literally just leaving somebody on red, you know?
Yeah.
But there are people who can't take a hint and can't accept boundaries. I mean, that's just life, right? Like there are times when you have to ghost people because you just literally do not want to communicate with them anymore.
Okay, well, I have a confession. There are...
He's not here right now. He's a ghost.
There are 1,019 people that it's necessary for.
Okay, all right.
And you've never been wrong.
Yeah.
No way, dude. So you're speaking in like the sense of like starting a relationship that you're like say you're on a date or...
Yeah, I mean, I think in any relationship, it ebbs and flows, right? But when people are first starting to get to know each other, there's a lot of intensity at first. It's really exciting because you're like, oh, this person's attractive. And like you're building this kind of like energy. And then just like being out, there's going to be conversation lulls. But I think because we're so accustomed to instant gratification and instant response time, people, especially people who are like maybe new to dating or haven't really experienced a lot of in-person dating, haven't established that patience. And they get a lot of anxiety. And so they just ghost because it's easier to not have to deal with that potential of what if the other person's going to reject me, or what if I'm being boring, or what if. So they just ghost.
Yeah.
Or once the excitement wears off, they ghost. I think that it's absolutely wrong if you've had sex.
I was just saying, sex was dope.
No, if you've had sex at all, you have to at least tell them this isn't going to work out. You don't even have to say why, but I think
I agree.
That's the nice thing
but
to do.
What if you found out afterward, maybe we could cut this, but I'll say it anyway. What if you found out afterward that person was married and you didn't know?
Well, then you definitely should probably not ghost them because I think you probably would have every right to call them out on it if you found out that they were married.
Yeah.
Yeah, like you didn't know at the time, but now you know.
But what if
Yeah.
he actually didn't care that they were married? It was just a
Oh.
good reason
At
to.
that time. So
okay,
it's like,
okay.
oh, that's good. I'll use that.
Okay. Ghost people who are crazy. You have no responsibility to continue having
Yeah.
explain your rationale when that kind of stuff happens.
That behavior. Another mistake. It was one of my clients.
Uh-oh. Well, you form an intimate relationship with a person if you're tattooing them for a long time. So
Yeah.
He
It was. It was 5 minutes.
like 30 minutes.
But
yeah.
I'm just good. I'm smooth. I work fast.
So
But,
fast forward. James meets this girl, bangs this girl,
Mm-hmm.
gets scary vibes from this girl, ghosts this girl.
That
Is he going to hell or not?
I can't vouch for your destination at the end, but I think you definitely probably made a good call on that one.
Okay.
I mean, it would literally be like in the olden days, you just didn't call them back, right?
Yeah.
But now ghosting has become to where people ghost for everything. They just don't show up for stuff.
Why do you think that's a bigger thing now than it was back then?
Well, definitely the internet has made it so that there are fewer reasons to go and engage with people in person, and then exacerbate, of course, the pandemic was not
Yeah.
a good thing. But you have a lot of people who, I mean, we all went through middle school, high school, and all that cringe time when you're like mad crush on people, and you have all these fantasies of how it's going to be and whatever.
Yeah.
And then you make all these mistakes, and then hopefully you learn from them, right?
Yeah.
Or sometimes it takes a while. But like when you're not getting that opportunity because you're not face to face with people, you're not getting to like go through kind of the awkward, hi, what's your name?
Yeah.
What kind of music do you like? Stuff in person. It just really creates a ton of anxiety. And so much of ghosting behavior, so much of just this apathy, like they call it the Gen Z stare, they just kind of
Yeah.
look blank at you,
Mm.
is really a sense of like disconnection and
Because of like devices and such.
yeah,
And it's like they treat all of these interactions as disposable. Like
Yes.
they're literally
it's a
scrolling
transaction.
through life.
It's a transaction.
Oh, yeah. Like they're swiping on you
Yeah.
when they're doing the dead stare. They don't even care.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The further we get into like tech life, I feel like just social, what would it be? Like courtesies are starting to, because I've been watching The Gilded Age.
Oh, I love
and
that show.
Ghosting would never happen.
Taffeta, top hats, and trains. I'm so down for that show. I love it
What?
so much. Yeah.
I
oh, yeah.
love me a period piece.
Uh-huh.
Did you watch Bridgerton?
Yes.
Me too. Okay, well, that's off topic.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
But, you
So,
know, like,
good.
you had to be, like, so social. Like,
Mhm.
even, and they're fake as fuck, but
Yeah.
they keep up with, like, these social niceties, and all of that
Right.
is dying. Which some of it is obviously a good thing, like the
like classism,
classism.
maybe. Yeah. But we're designed to create relationships and have communities. Like human beings do not sufficiently exist alone as much
Yeah.
as we might be like, I don't like people. I want to do my own thing.
Yeah.
Whatever. Everybody has a bad breakup and is happy being single for a little while.
Mhm.
But then you want to go find a relationship.
Right.
We want to be validated and seen and accepted. And there's a lot of great things that come from online dating. And so when you look at like how dating apps online first started, like Match,
eHarmony.
and eHarmony. Dude, I have a friend
Farmers
that they
only.
met. Yes, they met on eHarmony, and they've been married now for like 17 years and have 3 kids.
I have a friend like that, too.
Yeah.
I accidentally signed it for Christian singles and I used some profanity and it didn't work out.
That probably wouldn't work out. Yeah. But eventually, those were all designed that you would go and meet the person in person. It wasn't an entirely parasocial relationship where
Yeah.
it's all just through Discord or messaging.
As a minute ago, you said there's a lot of good that comes from it, like currently,
Yeah.
or like.
There can be a lot of good that comes from like just online relationship building.
Uh-huh.
I feel like because we've all curated our lives so much, we have a sense of how we want to be presented.
Yeah.
So That's
It's like a
creepy.
press pack.
Yes.
It's like, this isn't.
Sizzle reel.
Yeah,
me.
totally. So that can be great if you're like, this is what I want. This is who I am. This is what you get. Right.
Yeah.
I'm not like but on the other hand, if it's too packaged, then you're creating an expectation of a human being that doesn't exist.
Facade.
Mhm.
And that's also why people ghost, because when they start to get too close to who they really are, then they get scared and they bounce.
Yeah. The extreme
Mhm.
end of that is like
Yeah.
catfishing, I would imagine.
Sure.
Oh my gosh, yeah. And some of them are fucking delusional.
Oh, yeah.
Some,
They're professionals.
I mean,
Well-
if you watch the show, some of them end up on multiple episodes.
Yeah.
Oh, I love it. I
know. And then at what point do we just say, like, you need some serious psychological intervention? Like,
Yeah.
like that's problematic. But to
But
just
it makes for a great show.
I know. Needs come on the show. I had one more thing to say about, we were talking about internet.
For part of the icebreaker?
Yeah, it had something to do with ghosting still. Oh, well, I guess it's not important.
I think it's really shitty when people who are over the age of 35 are ghosting
Yeah.
because you're old enough to know what you're doing, right? Like you are old enough at this point in your life
Damn, bud.
to know
Yikes.
to know how to say, you know what, this just isn't going anywhere.
Yeah.
Like, grow some balls, like do it or whatever. But like, just be a brave person and be responsible and say, I'm letting you go.
Oh, I know what I was going to say. There's this other phenomenon happening that's not exactly ghosting, but where guys, this happened to me one time, where guys pretend to do like they're doing the right thing, but place it all on you. So there can't be like any pushback or so they can get away, like make a clean break, as in, oh, you know, I've been thinking and I don't think that I can ever, that I can reciprocate the feelings or something. And they're like, well, I was not even that into you. But it's like, so they can pat themselves on the back. I feel
I did a good thing.
like I did a good thing.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
they're not giving you any space to share your side.
Yeah.
Because then once they say that, if you were to be like, I wasn't even that into you, then it's like, oh, she's so hurt.
or they'll
Yeah.
just turn it on you and say you're a bitch.
Yeah.
Right.
Like, look at, you're freaking out.
Yeah.
And I don't, yeah.
It's just not having balls, like she
What-
said.
What kind of ghost, what is that?
I
What should
mean,
that
it's
be
like a little
called?
bit of like a gaslighting. You've probably heard of that before,
Yeah.
right? Like making somebody question whether they know their own reality. Where you're like,
Mhm.
I wasn't really into you. Did I give the vibe that I was really into you? And like now you have to have this really poetic breakup.
Like you're letting me down gently.
Yeah. Yeah. Or it could be on the other side of it, it could be teeny tiny little like glitter love bombs of like, I want you to still kind of want me. Where it's just an attempt to make, like, to basically have control of in the relationship
Yeah.
through
Yeah.
your emotions. And it's not just men that do that. Like lots of women do that too.
Yeah. And then it's kind of too like, it's like leaving a job on good terms. Like you know, give a 2-week notice. So in case you need to come back,
Mhm.
Yeah.
You need a
will be able
reference.
to.
You're like,
Yeah.
I don't want to screw this up.
Yeah, totally. All right. Well, let's bring it in then.
All right, buds, we are back again with a new episode of the Tattoo Budcast, the only podcast that's just like a tattoo appointment.
Minus the tattoo.
I am Jimmy Jam, and I am here with,
Sanai Garcia.
and you want to bring her in?
Mm-hmm. And today we have a very special guest, the tattooed professor. She is a professor of communication studies, interpersonal communication, public speaking, and persuasion. Kiki Flambé.
I want to get into this persuasion stuff. It sounds kind of bad.
All right.
Do you have any genuine? Did you want to ask a question up top about this? You need to know what it is right now, don't you?
Yeah, what does it mean?
Persuasion.
How do we do it?
It's the art of influence
Okay.
on people. So you use words, you use nonverbal communication. A lot of
Is it like the art of seduction, like that book?
That could be.
Could be, right?
Yes.
It's like a whole...
But it's essentially like using language and symbolism to get other people to do what you want them to do.
When you say symbolism, you mean like acts or like
Gang
It could
signs.
be like images. It could be
images?
memes, references. Language itself is symbolic.
Curated Instagram.
Yeah. Yeah. It's creating like a narrative. And then you essentially, through like establishing credibility, logic, emotional connection, and like kind of figuring out the trifecta of how you want it to work,
Yeah.
just like also your charisma and whatever, you have an intent and you want somebody to decide for themselves to also do that thing.
So is there like
Yeah.
a perfect formula
No one is
with all
safe
of
around you.
No, I mean, there's no perfect formula, but
formulas?
I mean, the art of persuasion,
Oh, it's an art.
I don't think any culture can claim it, but a lot of our Western education looks at the ancient Greeks and like the Greek philosophers like Aristotle, Plato, Socrates,
Yeah.
and then a whole bunch of other dead guys and like Romans and Europeans that all came in, and they basically were like, there's sort of a magic that happens when people communicate, and especially that you can use language to acquire power. So,
So interesting.
yeah,
It is.
you essentially, through just really good talking, people will go like, yeah, I want to do that. I believe you. I want to follow you. I want to do this thing. This sounds like a good idea. You do it in sales already.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So cult leaders must.
could-
Oh,
Yeah.
cult leaders are,
Like naturals.
well, yes. I mean, a lot of them are just straight up like sociopaths,
Yeah.
narcissists
Yeah,
and stuff.
personality
But yeah,
disorders.
but they are.
Jake. That's him.
Yeah, dude.
But they definitely know how to persuade quite well.
Wow.
Mhm.
And this whole image thing you were saying, symbolism, is it like association with some sort of presentation or?
I mean, people are definitely attracted to attractive things and attractive
Okay.
people, but people can make themselves attractive through their
You were saying?
Woo-hoo. Through their like cult of personality.
Okay.
So you might be like, what does anybody listening to that person find of value in what they're saying? But they create such an aura around themselves and all this energy and kind of enthusiasm for like an idea or an outcome that people are like drawn to it.
And it kind of becomes like a brand.
Mm-hmm.
So would that be like, for symbolism, would that be like getting super gussied up because you know you're going to try to talk your boyfriend or whatever, your significant other into doing something?
Part of it. I mean, part of that is you're like, you know that they find you hot or whatever. And so you're going to butter them up in that way.
Sounds like
Yeah.
manipulation.
There's a fine line.
Persuasion.
There's a fine line between persuasion and manipulation, for sure.
And is it ethical? Can it? Well, I guess it all
yeah.
depends on the circumstance.
So that's
too.
a really good question
Intention.
because it's about your intent, really. Like if you know your intent is to lie, misrepresent, and take advantage of people or situations because they don't know any better and it's only going to benefit you or your cause at their expense, that's straight up unethical.
Yeah.
But that
Aw,
happens
man.
constantly.
Oh man.
It happens constantly. I mean, words have consequences, and people, you don't know what actions people are going, where they're going to go when they get caught up in like a feeling, right?
Okay.
So the study of persuasion is really grounded in this whole like concept of rhetoric, which that's a word that's thrown around a whole lot, right? So like the persuasive power of language
Yeah.
and how we create a narrative that is super contextual, and it's so easy to like change the reality of something that's happening with it doesn't change the physical reality, but it changes the way that we're perceiving things simply by changing the way that we talk about it.
We kind of touched on that before.
Yeah.
Mhm.
But this ethical persuasion, I would imagine that you can also like that could also be seen in like kink in
Mhm.
certain like people that like financial, what is it called, financial dominance,
yeah.
or even like
Mhm.
sugar babies, like
Mhm.
because they're both consenting parties that like I do want you to give me a reason to want to spend money on you or whatever.
It's a desired
persuade
dynamic.
me to,
Yes. For sure. I mean, anytime any of us have an intention and we want to convince another person to agree with us, whether it's like just this restaurant's better than that restaurant, like let's go there, or it could be a much bigger thing, or it could be something like a relationship dynamic that you're like, it's a power dynamic and you have a level of intimacy and trust. You're always kind of working this, this space of like trying to find the balance between who's got more influence than the other person. But in a situation like that, I mean, both people are consenting to it. And so there's almost like a level of danger that's involved because
pop your collar again.
Yeah. Oh yeah, pop your collar.
That's my middle name, girl.
Yeah. It works. It works for you. It totally works for you.
What's the difference between, what would you say is the difference between manipulation and persuasion?
Yeah.
When people are being manipulated, they think they have a choice. They think that their options are straightforward, but their options have actually been managed so that they're not truly like available options. So your decision making is very limited, and it could be because the information you're going on is incorrect or incomplete or is just straight up lies. A lot of manipulation in relationships could be emotional manipulation, like you don't love me enough, or
Financial.
Yes, making people reliant on each other.
Okay, an example would be if James tells me he wants to go to a certain restaurant and then gives me reasons why it's really good,
McDonald's.
that's persuasion.
Yes.
But when he starts to threaten to jump off the fire escape,
that would be manipulative.
and we have to go to, okay.
You see, but she doesn't understand that I need it.
That's what we really wanted to get to. Okay. What exactly is it that you do really quick?
Yeah, so I sign up for
What
your
gives you the right to tell us this?
That's right.
I sign up for your class. What am I going to expect to learn?
She got multiple,
Oh,
baby.
they're all different. It's not the same. Oh.
Yeah. So interpersonal is really like focusing on the different stages of our self through relational development. So kind of looking at like, how do we come to be as a human being from a communication perspective? So there's a lot of overlap with like psychology and cultural studies and other kinds of fields. But really, I'm looking at it from the way that we talk through our identity. Like your name is really important, and the communities that we grow up in where we learn our culture and our values.
Wait, what do you mean your name is important? So when people are naming their kids dumb shit, that's probably...
I mean, that's a choice, right? They want their kid to have maybe a unique identity. I mean, our identities are given to us as much as we choose them.
Yeah.
That's true.
We kind of look at that, and then we look at like the influence of like other people, particularly our families, or whether it's our actual family of like origin, or it could be families that we create through friendship, through, other kinds
Social
of
circles.
Yep. And how that shapes who we are. But then in all of that, we're learning routines and sort of expectations of what a relationship is. So we learn how to talk about it. We learn how to not talk about it. And different, like generationally, we have very different rules and expectations of like, men and women, like gender values, gender roles, stuff like that. Or non-binary, like a lot of generations are still very unclear about what a lot of this terminology means, right? But we learn about how we learn about ourselves really from our family first, and then moving into the relationships that we create.
So is it just like identifying the development and kind of how we got here?
Yeah, but
why?
then it's also a lot of self-reflection and understanding our own relationships that we have in our life, and maybe especially the ones that haven't been so good.
Yeah.
And like, okay, maybe why did I choose that relationship? What was I replicating, or what was I replacing?
Yeah, replicating.
Because we make so many subconscious decisions.
And it's like a gravitational thing, right?
Oh, yeah. Yeah. And then sometimes somebody just totally comes into your orbit that was unexpected and you're like, I would never be interested in this person. And then you just can't keep away from them. Right. So,
Yeah.
but it's also being able to go through the cringy parts of life, the breakups, the embarrassing, the stress. How do you manage conflict? That's a huge one. Like what leads people to feel like they don't want to try anymore. And
Yeah.
and being able to weigh out that ride,
My shoulders are getting lower and lower.
Oh, I'm sorry.
You tuck your collar into itself.
But there's a lot of positivity that comes out of it. Like a lot of often students feel like they really have a sense of who they really are when they come out of that class.
That's great. Maybe we should.
Yeah, we should go. So is it a class for like just generally or is it for like business?
So most colleges, it is considered a general education course.
Okay.
It would be specific for some particular academic interests. Like if you're going into business, you're going to education, psychology, any kind of helping profession, you have to know how to engage with people.
Yeah, it would only make it better, right?
Yeah. You have to know how to be around people, else you're never going to be able to do. And can you think of any point in our life when we're not around people?
I mean, even the incels are fine with people on the internet at the very least.
Mm-hmm.
What did your education look like? Like, did you?
Oh man. So
you major in communications or?
Yeah. So like growing up, I moved around a bit because my dad was in the military. So that was actually good because I got a chance to notice that the world is a very big place and it's made of lots of amazing people.
Oh, so you're an observer by nature, probably from growing up.
So
like that,
I think I sort of became that way. And then, but at the same time, I grew up in a very traditional values home. And when I started college or like middle school, high school, college start, I was living in Kansas. And I totally knew I don't fit here. Like this is not.
Is that the Bible Belt? Is that considered
almost,
the Bible Belt?
It's getting there. Yeah, it's like the top hat of the Bible Belt, I think.
But the barbecue.
This is true. But we were stationed there. Like the Army moved us there. So we were like living there. And I just, like you mentioned, I was just an observer. And I was really kind of like, I don't really know why I don't want to do these things that everybody else is doing. It just doesn't feel like that's my path. And so then I made a bunch of dumb decisions and made a bunch of, as you do when you're young, learning experiences. And found my way to California. And
without your parents.
Oh no. Yeah. I have like $500 and a Toyota Tercel. And I was like, I am
Tercel. Wow.
This was the late 90s. Oh yeah. I was like, I am the richest woman in the world. Yeah. I came here.
My sister had a Tercel.
Yes. But so I kind of meandered through school trying to figure out what I wanted. And then essentially an advisor was like, you need to figure it out and graduate. And all these classes you have are communication classes. And I was like,
so it wasn't by choice?
No. They're like, there you go. And then I graduated and I was like, is this it? Because I was like in my early 20s and I thought there has to be more. So I just went back to school and so did a master's degree.
And you did your master's in communications too?
Was that, and you're saying when you came to California, you were like, fuck everything.
Pretty much.
Is that when all the tattoos happened?
No. These I did not get until later. Like my first tattoo I did get when I was maybe 20, which is like the requisite tramp stamp.
Hell yeah.
Mm-hmm. But it's so bad because it's not even, it was supposed to be a butterfly and it looks like a moth, kind of. And it's not even centered on my back. It's like,
did it used to be centered on your back or it just never was?
No, I was impatient and,
How big is that thing?
Oh, it's like small. It's like, I don't know, that big.
You know who does really good cover-ups and really enjoys them?
I would have died if you said you.
This gal.
Me. There you go. Yeah. Yeah. So I got that when I was like 20. But no, most of my all of them happened after.
You should put it in a bell jar or something now and then do a tattoo around it.
Maybe.
She
That's
does
cool.
taxidermy too, which we
Oh.
will
Yeah.
have to get into at some
Yeah.
point.
That's
if not today,
genius.
well, we're gonna have to get into that.
That's why
Yeah.
she's good at them.
I just can't.
There you go.
Yeah.
No, but
Or maybe it's
most
my
of my tattoos
persuasion.
happened after a really bad breakup, and I was like,
I want to
I'm-
spread my wings.
I'm tired of trying to conform to another person's expectations of me and what they consider valuable about me and my body. And I know who I am and what I want. And I always,
Look at you.
even as a little kid, I had kind of a fascination with tattoos because I had a babysitter who had tattoos.
Oh, yeah.
And so I would like color on my arms and stuff because I wanted to be like her.
And to drive your mom crazy.
Oh my God, yes. Yeah. But
I know. My mom used to always act like it was like so bad to draw on yourself.
Mhm.
Like you're
Oh,
going to
yeah.
get some kind of poisoning from it.
so most people after a breakup like dye their hair or cut bangs, but
Shave their head.
yeah.
You shaved your head after a breakup?
It was the first one.
We were really
I
sad.
was
Drastic
sad.
decisions.
I got really into Morrissey.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, it was your first one. Then.
Yeah.
Do your tattoos affect do they affect you with work or how like your colleagues perceive you or
It totally depends on the situation. For the most part, in higher education, depending on the field you go into, it's pretty eccentric. My discipline definitely has a lot of color to it, like a lot of tattoos and personal expression, piercings and dyed hair. And, there's a lot of just sort of like body autonomy because so much of what we study is identity and shaping who you are and like
so would that be
owning it in.
considered symbolism?
Maybe.
Mm,
Maybe.
That
got
makes
it.
sense.
Got it.
Mm-hmm. But you go into like some other
I'm AC this
disciplines.
class.
Yes, you got an A plus. So some of the places I go into, I have to cover up very professionally, and
Or else what?
it's just this vibe of like somehow the tattoos on my arms and legs affect my intelligence and my
Right.
ability
Here,
to
down
do my
here.
job, which is silly in 2025
Yeah.
because most of my students also have tattoos.
It's the new
So-
normal.
Yeah.
It really is.
But a little bit. No,
Yeah.
they're getting into like cyber syllogism. What is that?
Sigilism.
Sigilism.
What is that? Is that
Wait,
the...
no, it looks
with
like a metal
Chelsea?
shirt.
Mhm.
It looks like the metal
Yeah.
band logos,
Yeah.
but those are
It's a
cool.
vibe.
It's. I just feel like
Not
it's
for me,
tribal. It's
Yeah.
tribal 2.0.
It really is.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't get it. But you know what I do like? We had talked about this. Have you seen how people are mixing like the old 90s tribal with like a traditional rose or like
Uh-huh.
a traditional snake? Like,
Yeah.
but
Yeah.
it's supposed to be like kitschy on purpose. Like,
Yeah.
Mm.
like the tackiness is what's the value of that tattoo?
Yeah,
Well,
I like it.
I tell people all the time, like, if you learn nothing from my class, just take these 3 pieces of advice. Only let professionals do your eyebrows, because once you start going after those suckers, you're just going to pluck away and then you're going to have no eyebrows. Secondly, like, make sure you call your mom at least once a month, even if you're mad, or just whoever is the person who you really value their relationship. You just don't know.
You never know.
You never
Yeah.
know. So like get over it and like call them, and you can set some boundaries about that. But the third one is, and you can fight me on this one because I just got a matching tattoo with a friend.
Okay. Yeah.
Oh.
But don't get anybody's like name or face or some really highly symbolic representation of them on your body as a form of love and commitment.
Especially if you're expecting to gain something from
Exactly.
them for
Yeah.
it.
It is not going to keep them from doing whatever it is you're
No.
trying to prove.
It doesn't make them
You
love you
love
more.
you. That's right. And now
Yeah.
you just have to cover it up.
Yeah, and we've seen it a ton of
Yeah.
times
A
in tattoo
ton.
shops. Like,
Yeah.
like one of the topics was like people getting a portrait of their significant other on their face.
No.
Like,
I hate that. I
No.
feel like that is like you need to find value in yourself. Like I feel like you're literally putting someone else before you
like a mask
when you
on.
do that. Yeah.
Mm.
But I agree. Like I would much rather a matching tattoo
Mm-hmm.
than a name. Because even the matching tattoo, even if you end up hating that person, like it was still a time in your life. You can look at it like that, you know. But the name, it's...
So I have a tattoo, this one here, that my ex has the match that goes with it. However, it is supposed to be me in like this kind of like cartoony style, like all pin-up-y and like woo-woo, on their leg, like from knee to ankle. And yeah, I just wonder, like, what's life like with
What's
you?
up with that?
Yeah, because we got these actually on a tattoo show.
Oh, yeah?
Yep.
What show?
This one was on Best Ink, and the person that did it won the show.
So matching tattoos okay?
Yeah. Well, that one, I'm pretty sure they wouldn't have covered it up because they would have a good story and they could say it was like $100,000 tattoo.
Yeah.
They're just
Yeah.
enough
Bragging
of a,
rights.
they're just
at the
enough
very
of a,
least. A person to do that?
of a person to do that. Yeah. Mhm.
Is communication something that comes easy to you? And if so, is that just because of these years of preaching and practicing, or has it always been like natural to you?
I think I was always naturally a talker because
Me too.
I'm an only child, and my parents, I mean, I grew up in like the 80s, so we were feral. You know, they were like, just go find something to do.
Till the
So,
streetlights come on.
Yeah. So I was really good at like inventing my world and like making friends. And also because with my dad in the military, we were moving every few years.
Yeah.
So I had to know how to reinvent myself. Like I knew early on, probably by like second or third grade, that I needed to like read the other kids to figure out how to fit in with them.
Yeah, I'm a friend, that one.
Yeah.
That one. But some people aren't so fortunate, right? They can't do that.
Right.
Like I've met people that were, military brats, as they call them, and they just kind of don't have that.
Yeah.
And they're like kind of socially inept, I would say.
I mean, I think it's part of it is your personality also. I mean,
Yeah.
I can't speak a lot on that part of it, but I mean, definitely some people are introverted, some people are extroverted. Some people just, our brains are wired differently to feel a little bit more socially reserved or not have the ability to like connect real naturally.
And I feel like it also depends if you're going to make, like you said about reading the room and reading people, whether you're going to make that a skill or let it like paralyze you or disable you, like where now you're so obsessed with fitting in, like you use the reading the room to now steal someone's entire personality.
Ooh, yeah.
Right, because that can happen too, and we've seen it happen.
Yeah, that's it even happens in like relationships.
Like where people become basically the same person.
Yeah, as they call them, pick-me's, right?
I think that could be a pick-me, yeah, sure.
Yeah.
Or like, you saw like in high school, you see the girl that she's dating a jock and she's a cheerleader, and then she ends up dating a punk guy, and then she's all
like goth and emo, whatever. Yeah. I mean, people do adapt to but that goes back to how like cringy we are in high school. Because we're basically, up until our mid-20s, our brain is still figuring out just processing emotion and dealing with situations. So we're trying to almost like there's this whole theory about how life is really a stage, and we're constantly playing different roles.
So like a stage, or not like a phase?
No, like we're all kind of in this theatrical experience, and main character vibes, or are you more background? But like we're always putting on these different costumes and images and like versions of ourselves. So we're kind of always almost auditioning
for like a social atmosphere or scenario.
Yeah, social atmospheres, scenarios, relationships. And so when people maybe land on a character that they're like, oh, I like this version of myself, if you have to work really hard at it to maintain it, then it's not going to be authentic. And you're probably going to end up not being very honest with your partners or your friends or whatever. But a lot of times people are actually, from my experience and what I've found just through talking with my students, is they're trying to fit a role that others want them to do, and it doesn't fit their own natural feeling.
It's
A
kind of
lot
like
in families.
and also Ty from Clueless. Like she was a skater at heart, dude.
Yeah,
She
dude.
totally was.
And then she was so mean to what was the skater guy?
oh,
Remember the
I
one
don't
that
know
was
his
tip of my
in
tongue.
name, but he was so in love with her.
Yeah.
He liked her so much.
The one that, he did the stage dive, and that was so cool
It
the
was
way
so
he
cool.
did that.
Yeah,
was so
and then
cool.
she ended up chasing Elton to fit
Yeah.
into this box.
This
And
social
then she didn't
circle.
even really
Yeah.
like Elton. She just was Elton.
No, they told her that she liked him,
Exactly.
and she
Yeah, dude.
believed it because of her
But
social
because-
circle.
And because of Cher's persuasion. Well, I guess that was manipulation.
That was manipulative.
Because she was
And then
like,
with the teacher, dude, she's a manipulator. Dude, she's
Well,
bad.
Yes. Cher is a little bit bad. I think, though, Cher didn't intentionally mislead her friends. Like, she really, truly thought she was doing a good thing
Yeah.
because in that atmosphere, your social status was so important.
Beverly Hills.
To
Yeah.
anybody in high school.
Mhm.
So,
Yeah.
Clueless is a great movie.
It is.
It's a
that
great
one,
movie.
That one and Mean Girls, I feel, are just like documentaries of
great
life.
case studies. Yeah.
Mhm.
So, what did we land on? Have you always been a good communicator? You
I
said
think so.
Yeah.
you sound like you're a great code switcher, especially,
Yes.
right?
Oh, I
Yeah.
can totally code switch. But in my personal relationships, I'm not always a great communicator.
That's what I was going to
Really?
ask.
Yeah.
When feelings
Oh, yeah.
are involved, how is it?
Yeah. Oh, I can be really mean.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I've been hurt pretty awful, and I think that created. Well, everybody has trauma in their
I was
life.
going to say
Right.
trauma-based reactions.
Absolutely.
Mm.
And then you start to build these little walls where you don't want that to happen again, even if you're not consciously doing it. But it's like, as soon as that anxiety starts to build up, I know in
Right.
myself, I'll get super like aggressive and
Yeah.
combative. And like, luckily, my spouse is an amazing person who is like very chill and just knows how to navigate that. So over the last, whatever, we've been together like 11 years, he knows how to like tell if I'm getting worked up about
He can
something
read you.
or like something's triggered me, and then I'm going down that path.
He could
But-
tell when you're about to get mean.
Pretty much. He sees the switch. He's like, whoa, 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 whoa. Yeah.
So,
But-
being an expert, do you find yourself still learning?
All the time.
Yeah.
All the time. I mean, we human beings are not static. We're not robots. So our like relational dynamics are constantly changing. Like, look at all the stuff that's going on with like online communities and how, oh yeah, there's like this secret world that no one knew about. Yeah, it's been there. It just wasn't, it's like the dark underbelly of the internet, right?
Yeah.
I think it's important for anybody, whether you're an academic or you're just a person in a relationship, like be willing to learn about your communication style, your other people's communication style, be willing to shut up and listen.
Yeah.
Like
That's
you
the
don't always have to be right.
That's the part of communication that we all forget is the listening part.
Mhm.
Like I went to couples therapy for a while with my partner, and it was she would stress like listening to understand as opposed to listening to respond.
Yes.
And I'm like, damn.
So that's so hard.
So we never went back.
It's really
I'm just
hard
kidding.
because I find myself, I mean, I'm sure it's because of my ADHD where it's when the person's talking, I'm just thinking of the next thing to say and I'm not listening
Mhm.
because I'm mad.
And then, like, even then, it's how do you communicate emotion in a way that's not just kitchen sink dumping, like, and then.
Can you tell me how to do that, please?
Right. Like, there has to be almost like you have a referee. So sometimes, like in therapy, they'll be like, you get to talk for 30 seconds.
Yeah.
And then you have to
regulated.
repeat, what did you just hear me say?
Yeah,
And then-
that's what we did too.
Yeah.
So it's like an exercise,
Uh-huh.
Yeah,
not
so,
not
like-
a full blown debate.
So like,
Exactly.
okay, let's do one right now. Like, tell me something, communicate something to
Okay,
me.
let's do one right now. So, tell me something, communicate me. So is that the exercise?
No.
No, like you
Damn
would
it.
maybe like tell her something that's bothering you. An emotional
Bring it on.
Mhm.
Let's see.
Or something you're worried about, or
I have been worried about the economical state of the tattoo industry because it seems a little tough. I'm a little scared. I want to hang on to that hope, but it's making it difficult.
So now my job would be to repeat back exactly what you said without filling things in, because so what I heard you say is you're worried about the economical state of the tattoo industry because it's making you I lost the rest of it.
So you can like interpret his feeling. Like I think it's making you feel overwhelmed.
Yeah.
And then you can say, is that right?
And so the reason is because oftentimes in relationships, you'll be like, oh, I'm mad because you ignored my phone call. And then, but the person, it goes in their head, they fill in the blanks and they're like, and then you're always accusing me of ignoring all your phone calls when that's not what you said. You were just talking about this one time. And so then things get bigger and it becomes a fight of the whole relationship instead of just the thing we're talking about, you know, which is so easy to do.
Absolutely.
Oh my gosh.
Is the exercise repeating it verbatim or interpreting it?
So when you paraphrase back, you're saying, this is how I understood what you said to me. Because sometimes we don't listen like actually at sentences. We hear emotion and we hear what we think the person really meant.
It's trying to convey.
And we're like taking things as jabs instead of them just speaking on their feelings.
Yeah. And so it does take a lot of practice. But when you get to a place where you can say like, okay, this isn't going anywhere. This argument's not working. We're just yelling at each other or whatever. Like, take a moment. And then, okay, so I think I understand why you're upset about this situation. It's because of this. Am I right? And then the other person has a chance to reply and either, corroborate that or be like, no, it's actually because of this other thing. And then the whole idea is that you're not meandering off into like some ex person that had nothing to do with this relationship now.
Comparing and
but also it doesn't turn into this like 5-hour cry fest where now you're just like, now what do we do?
So what is your prescription for arguments that seem to be going nowhere?
Like a circular or cyclical one?
Yeah, maybe cyclical, or even maybe arguments where now the original issue has become just one of many things because everyone's grabbing for it. And you also did this. And you also do this.
Then it's probably not about any of those things. You're probably not arguing about any of that.
And so how do you get down to the meat and potatoes of it all?
So when you start arguing that way, even though, because I'm so bad at this, I'll just be like, let's go. Like I'm ready. You have to be in control of yourself. You're not going to be in control of the other person. You can't fill in the blanks for them or finish their story or be their emotions. So you have to just be in control of yourself and be like, I need to step aside. I need to figure out what I'm really feeling right now.
Yeah.
And then whether it's talking yourself down, counting to 10, writing it out or whatever, you have to take a moment away and then come back to, am I really upset because you didn't answer my last 5 texts? Or is it because I'm feeling anxious that I'm being abandoned, or I can't trust you because it's making me remember another time I felt this way?
Trauma.
Right.
Oh yeah, it's sparking a old feeling.
Right.
See, so my boyfriend is, this person I know, he's totally the kind that like he reaches his fill of arguing and he has to step away. And I'm the toxic one when unchecked that's like, oh no, we're going to figure this out now. You're not going to fucking walk away. So one of the tips that like our counselor had given us was he gets to walk away, but he has to give me a time that we're going to come back and talk about this at, in 2 hours from now or in tomorrow at 7 p.m. or whatever.
Not 2 months.
Yeah. Or like that it's just not going to go. Because my worry is that this is going to get swept under the rug because I come from a family of rug sweepers. And then we're just never going to talk about it. And that's not the kind of relationship I want. And then I start acting all fucking crazy if I feel like you're either not understanding me or if you're dismissing me. Whew.
Yeah.
The dismissal, I'll act a fucking fool.
That's the hardest part, is waiting. because you don't know if you're going to get to be heard.
Mm-hmm.
And
Yeah.
if you trust your partner that they are going to come back, then hopefully after that time, your emotions aren't running so high and you can say, I'm sorry. And, I'm sorry for that thing I said that was hurtful.
Yeah.
I was trying to be mean in that moment. Like, you have to very much own what you do. Oh my God, it sucks.
Yeah,
But,
I'll just get a new one.
I started practicing that, like, or noticing or realizing what I was doing, the things that I said, and I was like, man, it was just because I wanted to be mean.
Yeah.
Like, and it's
because it feels good.
it does.
Feels so good.
Especially when you feel like you're being attacked.
Yeah.
And but then that goes back to the repeating what you heard, because sometimes maybe you're not being attacked and you're just, it's going into all your life experience and kicking up dust, and now you're feeling that way, and it's not true at all. Maybe they just did have a bad day at work, which I doubt it, but
Yeah. So much of like what goes wrong in communication is because we are essentially creating a story that is like a side quest to what is actually happening.
Yeah.
You're like, oh, I'm making all these assumptions, and you're trying to do mind reading and then maybe some like passive aggressive stuff. Like you get all like huffy, like, you should know why I'm mad.
Yeah. So you said about coming back and apologizing, and so for the bitches in the back, what is an effective apology? What does that look like?
An effective apology is not just saying, I'm sorry, and being, well, number one, you can't have attitude about it. Like, fine, I'm sorry. That's not an effective apology. Sometimes an apology doesn't even say the words, I'm sorry. You could say, I recognize I hurt you. That was really unfair of me. Or,
that made me like,
I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
but that's just so nice.
Yeah, it's owning it.
Right.
Accountability.
Because a lot of times people say I'm sorry, and it's just like now you should forgive me.
Yeah. Or I'm sorry if you felt
I'm sorry if you felt something.
That shit's
No.
gonna break their TV.
It's I acknowledge that I did this thing and it hurt you because it was mean or it was thoughtless or unfair or whatever it was, and I shouldn't have done that. So, and an effective apology will often say like, I'm aware of it, and this is what I'm going to try to do not do it again.
Yeah.
Is it just me, or does it seem like when somebody gives you an apology and then they explain all the reasons why they did that, it comes across as excuses, right? Or why, like, they're giving themselves a pass.
Anything that follows the word but, I'm sorry, but.
It's not an apology.
And then if they start saying something you did, or like, all this things going on in their life, that definitely can be a contributor for sure. I think a lot of it is just how a person takes ownership of their actions, their words, and the outcome of that.
Say they've done something, they've hurt you, and they do have things going on in their life, but they owe you an apology. Should they apologize, let that sink in, let that be, and then maybe strike up a conversation of the weight they're carrying, like at a later time? Like, hey, I just want to let you know what's going on in my life, this, and this, and not refer to, that's why I did this, or that's why you think I did this.
Yeah.
It goes back to that being patient for a fight to end.
So on both sides,
Like, if you say, I'm sorry, I did this, I know it was wrong, I hurt you, I do feel sorry, I am sorry, right? First of all, the other person has no obligation to accept the apology because they might still be upset.
Yeah.
So it's when you offer an apology, it's a gift. And a lot of apologies, we want it to make ourselves feel better. So if the other person's not ready for you to apologize, like, don't force it on them. And
that would be a real apology, right? As you give it, whether they accept it
or not, right? But that it doesn't help to then push and be like, well, this is why you should accept my apology, because you're probably going to lead to another fight or argument, or it's just going to make that person feel like they're kind of coerced into accepting.
Yeah, it's like you're telling them how they should feel.
Exactly.
Oh, yeah,
Exactly.
Manipulation over persuasion.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
This is why we need to have face-to-face relationships, because you don't really get this when you're in just completely an online space. It is so easy just to not deal with those feelings. And then
there's a lot of disconnect.
absolutely.
So something that had come up when we were DMing about the episode was, I actually just wrote down this portion of the sentence. You had wrote that it would be good for us to talk about self-development and talk about ways to initiate conversation and to get out of your head.
So I hate to just repeat myself, but because we live in a curated space, and think about how much time we spend putting our Instagrams together, or a TikTok or a YouTube or whatever people are doing. I know like there's a million apps, right? But all of that, out of the 100 pictures you post, how many shitty pictures did you not post? And so
100,000.
Yeah. So we have almost like presented this expectation of, well, this is who I am online, so I have to be this way all the time. And if I don't have this look all the time, or I don't have this because I've used all these filters, there's one part of it is that people expect that others are going to see them as basically the avatar of their online personality in real life. The other is that there is this expectation. People come up with these lists of criteria that they have to have in order to be in a relationship. And yet they've never once even had just like a first conversation. So if your criteria is like 30 items long, you're probably never going to find that person, because as soon as somebody doesn't meet the list, you're going to ghost them. Or, be like, bye.
James.
What? That's not me.
But like,
It's me.
just the art of small talk. The art of small talk. We were like super conditioned just to get bored and be like right here on our phones, instead of just being like, hey, how are you? So nice to meet you.
Yeah.
And then what about your tattoos? A really good way to start a conversation is to observe people. We advertise our interests by what we're wearing, by what we have on ourselves. So you can comment on somebody's like, they're wearing a band shirt. Ask them about that band.
That's my sales tactic at conventions. I see people walk up and a lot of them don't engage. They're just browsing. They're window shopping. And if like exactly that, like if it's a band, I know it's like, oh. Yeah. I saw them, this place, like, oh, what other shows do you go to and stuff like that. And I don't know, it works for me.
Yeah. Usually when you show interest in people and ask them questions, tell me about what you like, then we are like, oh, I want to tell you about what I like.
Yeah, body language like completely flips.
Yes, absolutely. So there's a difference between interrogating questions and open-ended questions. So interrogating questions are like where you're a know-it-all about it. Like you see someone wearing a shirt of a band you like, and you're like,
name 3 bands with
yeah,
your
name 3
songs.
songs.
Yeah, do you know this album? Blah 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 blah. And then you're like testing them on how like much of a fan they are.
It's like a challenge.
Whereas like an open-ended question to be like, oh, cool. Where did you last see that band? Like, how'd you get into them? What's your favorite? Album or whatever song that they've done.
Oh, that's great. That's
It's open-ended questions.
open-ended questions. They leave room for more conversation.
And that happens a lot in like DMs. Yeah. Master open-end questioner.
I'm about to ask so many open-ended questions at this next convention. I'm not even going to have time to tattoo because they're going to be so open-ended. Too good.
You're just going to need to write them all down.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's really good. That's a great suggestion. That's like great for sales, for making friends, for awkward silences. Are awkward silences actually awkward? That's what I was going to ask, because I can't take it. But I know that's just like wanting to live up to what I think people are expecting or something.
Most conversations are going to have a lull in them because you just ran out of that topic. It doesn't mean that you're done talking.
Dude,
that's when
I'm
you
like,
ask another question.
The air
I'm like,
feels a
can
little
you do
thick.
this?
Maybe.
Literally
Like, would you like to see my
it.
stupid human trick? I mean, yeah.
I could do it with my knees too. I know.
Yeah, absolutely. And tattoos are great because tattoos are, personal expression.
Yeah.
If people want to talk about them. Usually people want to talk about their tattoos. About their tattoos.
But it's usually the kind of people that you don't want to talk to about tattoos.
That's true. Yeah, that's true.
Like anybody that's so horny to talk about their tattoos, you're like,
Red flag.
yeah, right? Almost.
Yeah.
Because people that are like heavily tattooed usually don't.
Are the most
you
humble.
forget you're tattooed. Yeah.
Yeah. But like if somebody's, I guess if it's their first one, you ask them why they're doing it, what's inspiring it.
But since we're tattoo artists and we
Yeah.
need to sell tattoos, I love to talk to people about
Yeah.
tattoos.
Yeah. But like, I just think that we aren't really good at, we've lost the art of small talk. Like in Taffeta Top Hats and Trains, they have those dinners where they just have to sit next to somebody and talk about whatever.
Like a mixer.
Yeah. Yeah, it's like a mixer.
And it's another high society person. They're just being graded on their small talk, essentially.
Really, it is.
I kind of enjoy small talk.
Small talk is great.
I think it's great too, except for when I feel like
You don't want a small
the
talk
conversation.
It doesn't mean you're just telling you're not dumping your whole life.
Right.
But,
Yeah, that's where things get weird. But I also recognize that's a me problem with the whole lull in conversations that I'm like, oh, what do I do? What do I do?
I'm wondering if I only like it because it's small talk, though. Because I feel like it becomes more of like an obligation. Like catch me at a register.
Uh-huh.
Love it. It's very short,
Yeah,
and I
'cause
know
you're like,
that I'm not going to
I'm
be
not
stuck.
seeing you later.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
low stakes like conversations like that.
All fucking
I'll
day.
fuck it up, dude.
Yeah.
But so is it bad? Is that bad?
No, I mean, how many we have all kinds of short-term relationships with people,
Yeah.
but that person that if you go to that same coffee shop or that same liquor store or whatever all the time, you're probably eventually going to like have a relationship with that person because you're going to
And
talk to them.
That's where I'm out.
Then you start going to other places because of that?
I've already feel like I got to change a pharmacy because the ladies come to know me and I see her once a month. What's the big fucking deal? But I think it's really just if we're going to get really deep, I think it's just intimacy issues.
Okay.
Yeah. So what's wrong with me, doc?
Just like anxiety. It's almost always goes back to anxiety of not being in control of the situation and not being able to like know what the next step is going to be.
We know so much of our clients' business and stuff. Do you feel weird when they're like, so how have you and how have you and your girlfriend been?
I switch it right back.
Yeah, me too.
I find myself doing that quite a bit, actually. It's like, no, this is your day. Let's talk about you.
Yeah. But I mean, I guess that's also the being good at just the small talk is also a skill, right?
For sure. Yeah. If you don't want to talk about anything deep, small talk's great.
How would you suggest people learn to talk about deep things? Is it just like immersion therapy? You just start doing it?
Well, I think it takes time. You have to establish trust.
Okay, yeah. You can't just trauma dump on people.
No.
That's weird.
So you just, you're like having your first date with somebody in person. You've probably, like, a lot of people spend a lot of time going back and forth on DMs and messaging before they meet, if they get that far.
Yeah.
So they might already feel like they know someone really well, but when you don't have that filter of being able to correct your grammar and,
wait and think what you're going to say.
Does that make sense? Right. And you have to just be kind of spontaneous. That's where people get really, really anxious.
I feel like when that happens for me, like I kind of just go on like autopilot, and I almost feel like those conversations are a little bit more natural.
What do you mean by autopilot?
Kind of like I just subconsciously think these things and these responses, and they just fall out my mouth.
Like what's?
But I feel like through a DM, it's there's more pressure. It's like I need to think about this.
You feel more pressure in the DMs.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I think DMs are much more of that like interrogating kind of questioning because people are trying to filter out whether you're going to be on their list or not.
Yeah.
Also, you can't read tone, but people can be very pushy in DMs. Like when somebody just sends you a picture of a tattoo you did and they go, how much?
Yeah.
And you're like,
oh my God. So
this is not open-ended.
Speaking of open-ended, though, I feel like some people can abuse it.
Oh, yeah. They can get too personal. And that's when you have to have boundaries.
Yeah. Or not catch like social cues. I'll be honest. Sometimes that kind of makes me not want to engage in a conversation. Sometimes it's like, I know this is just going to be hours and hours of just open-ended questions that are kind of going nowhere.
Right.
Right? Like, is that...
Well, you can end it. You can be like, well...
I hate you, bye.
No.
Face
it's been really great.
Yeah. But some people can't even pick up on those.
That's true. And that's when you create a boundary and you say, like, this is over. Like, this is done.
How do you end a never-ending conversation?
Yeah.
All right, buddies, what if I told you there's a company that can legally ship good vibes straight to your mailbox in all 50 states?
That's right, Avaya Hemp. They've got CBD and THC products, tinctures, topicals, gummies. Basically, if you can think of a way to hemp yourself out, they've already made it.
Need help sleeping after a 10-hour session? They've got you. Need focus because your brain feels like mashed potatoes? Covered. Pain from hunching over your iPad all day long? Yup. Just want to unwind because your client said, can you make the skull smile? They've definitely got you.
And these aren't just mystery gas station gummies. They're third-party, lab-tested, premium hemp products made to actually work. Plus, they legally ship everywhere. Like your grandma in Florida, she's a stoner, send them to her. Your cousin in Alaska, send it to them. Your weird uncle in Nebraska, don't send it to him because it's against his parole. But also, if it's for a person that doesn't like to get a little, this guy right here hates a gummy, but loves their CBD gummies.
I love them so much. And the best part, you buds get 20% off when you use the code TattooBuds. All one word, no spaces, no regrets. So whether you need sleep, focus, pain relief, or just a solid vibe session, hit up Via Hemp.
Click the link in our show notes. Use code TattooBuds and get 20% off your order. That's Via Hemp, helping tattoo people feel human again, one gummy at a time. How do you end a never-ending conversation?
Yeah.
Like if you're in person with somebody?
Yes, and let's say you can't, is it too on the nose to say that you ran into a client that you couldn't get away from?
No, that could be anybody.
Yeah. I mean, there's nothing wrong with saying like a little white lie. I mean, like, oh, I've got somewhere to be, or
I'll come with.
I know.
I got it.
God.
You can just
Then it's
say
a hard
you got to go
boundary.
poop or something. I mean, you can make whatever sometimes it takes to get them to go away.
Yeah.
But sometimes it's just like, it's been great talking to you.
Yeah,
Bye.
that's good.
Some
It was
girl,
nice catching up, but I got to get back to...
some girl that I was dating, she had the best one, and I'd never seen it work so well because we were in the same situation. And she was like, "Hey, we're trying to hook up. We're gonna have to get going." And they were like, "All right,
Nice.
all right."
I mean, that definitely could probably change the tide.
And it kind of takes it like everybody by surprise, and they're kind of like all for it because that's what everybody's out for, right?
Woohoo! Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
You're all talking to her parents. They're-
All right, I'm trying to get laid, dog. Am I right?
Then we go back to read the room.
Yeah, definitely. A big part of all of this. Do you have any tips for like communications in sales specifically?
A lot of sales works best by doing what's called like a foot in the door. So you kind of ask somebody like, okay, well, what are you looking for? Like they want a tattoo.
Okay.
They have an idea and you know that it's going to be like, it's going to have to be this size. But you know, if you tell them it's going to have to be this size and it's going to be this much money, they're going to say no. Like
Right.
they don't want to do it. It's too much money. It's too much time. So you might say like, well, I could do it for, this little one for this much. And here are the consequences of that. So then you give them a next step level. I could do it for this one. Here are the consequences of that. Or I could we just do the big one. It's going to be this much money, this much time. This is how much it's going to be of value to you. So a foot in the door is kind of where you have an end goal that you want, but you're working up to it in small steps that are reasonable and easy to accept.
And it's not too overwhelming or like...
Right. Because what if you say to someone, this is going to be an $1,800 tattoo, and they are like, I don't have that much money. The other thing you could do is say, okay, well, that's how much eventually it's likely to cost, but we could break it up into these amounts, knowing that you could still
get what you want,
but you're doing it in smaller chunks.
Oftentimes, especially at conventions, people walk up to the booth. They're there. They paid the entry fee, so they're obviously interested. But they're very like prickly. Like as soon as you say hello, they're kind of just like, hi, like, and then they go back to like looking at whatever's on the table.
They got like their guard up.
Because they think that you're trying to do a sales pitch with them.
Right. Like, so what's what if we went to Professor Persuasion, what would she tell us is a good way to disarm?
That's where you're going to go for that open-ended question. Hey, what brought you to this convention today?
Yeah.
What are you interested in getting? Or what's your style that you like? Ask them obviously questions about your particular art style. Usually it's just making yourself feel like an approachable person to break down that barrier. And then once they trust you, that's where you say, well, this is how much it's going to be or whatever, the commitment of it.
I had seen this girl that's in sales on TikTok that was saying like when she talks to men, she ends her sentences on a down. Like she speaks kind of monotone. She's not like, hey, hi, how can I help you? Like
elevated pitch. So this is one of the unfortunate truths about men and women's voices, that women's voices that get really high and shrill often are viewed as being less persuasive than like that even
that was in
tone.
The Art of Seduction too.
That you bring it down, and that when you never want to start a sentence with you never want to apologize with a qualifier like, well, I think, or I don't want to offend you. You never qualify your statements. Just say what you're going to say.
This is any situation?
Yeah. You don't want to be mean, don't want to be rude, but most of the time, people will take you more seriously when you say, well, this is how much this is going to be, or I want to help. I would love to help you. I'm really excited about this. This is what it's going to be. And that's where you can do the foot in the door, the little amounts, or the other one's the door in the face, where you present the big amount and then break it up into smaller bits that are acceptable bites. Particularly when you are trying to sound confident, it's better not to get really high-pitched and excited like this, like cheerleader-y.
Well, shit. What do I do?
I was going to say, what are we going to do with Sanai?
What am I supposed to do with this voice?
Sanai has to go way down.
Yeah.
Yeah, I do find myself in that situation where it's like, maybe I am getting high pitched, but like, I get a little nervous sometimes, and I like to feel like I'm in control of a conversation, but sometimes it'll get the best of me, and I just feel like I just get like worked up and high pitch and...
Well, I mean, in a sales situation, the other person, really it's up to them. So you want to provide them reasons to not say no. And even if they walk away, you've planted the seed that I really don't want to leave here without getting this done. So you might remind them, we're only here until tomorrow. Or, if they're local, these are the dates. Like, let's set a date. At least let's set a consultation date. Because a lot of times when people commit to something, even though people ghost, most of the time the way our brains work is if you commit to something and then there's a sense of like, kind of like obligation to the other person, then we will follow through with it. Even if it's I can't make it, I need to reschedule, that kind of sense of like obligation to the other person is there.
I got to work on my pitch. I'll be talking like this the rest of the episode.
She's just like turning everybody on.
And suddenly this became Tattoo Budcast After Dark.
Do you think that's part of it for men? Like, talking to the girl that's in the low
Oh, yeah.
right?
All of this has like so many fine lines of where are you being a confident speaker to where are you being a creepy creeper,
Yeah.
right? So,
But then personality mirroring is also a tactic too, right? So if
Yes.
the cheerleader with the pumpkin spice latte and
I'm
the
a latte
pink,
girl.
yeah, and the pink, everything
Yeah.
comes up, then it's okay to go for the
Sometimes it's
the
entertaining.
bubbliness
Yeah.
and the, hey girl, yeah, that's gonna look so good on
oh,
you.
yeah. Absolutely. Absolutely. You got to find where people trust you.
What
Yeah.
makes them comfortable?
Mirroring is fun, though.
Persuasion.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, yeah. Jake is about to be moving in with his girlfriend.
Oh,
Wait,
yeah, we could talk
I do
about
have a
that.
question.
Yeah.
Oh, I love
I gotta
this
set up my
camera
camera.
setup.
All right.
Okay. You're going to see.
Producer Cam.
Open-ended questions are normally good
Mm-hmm.
in a situation basically where you don't really know the person.
Mm-hmm.
And that's why it's probably so easy. But then I realized because like artists in general, right? Like they're intimate people. Like what they do is very intimate. So would you say that the fun of having quick conversations is only there because talking about deeper things just takes so long?
I
Like,
mean, sometimes I guess if you're like, not all relationships are going to go that deep anyway.
yeah.
Like some of our relationships are totally surface level and that's all they're ever going to be. And then you just have that one friend that you just hang out with and all you talk about are memories from the past. And that's where your relationship lives
Mhm.
and that's it. And then you have other friends or other people that you've just grown close to because you have so much trust and intimacy with them,
Mhm.
like emotionally, that you can have a deeper conversation about a specific topic.
Interesting.
I think the open-ended
Yeah.
questions too, I don't think they're just for like people you don't know. I think that's
Yeah.
even great for a fucking date night,
yeah.
right?
yeah.
Like,
yeah.
I mean,
to remain curious about
yes,
to- to me-
checking in
Yeah.
with your partner is hugely important for your relationship
oh,
health.
and we
Yeah.
forget to do
I
it.
think of it more
Yeah.
like in a fun way, I guess. Like when you're talking to somebody you don't know and you can keep it open-ended, like you could just ramble and then,
Mhm.
just get weird responses because there's a lot of interesting people out there.
Oh,
But how
yeah.
You
many
find the right
times-
person, you're like,
How-
you kind of just leave it laughing, like,
How many times
oh,
do you see
wow.
on movies, though, or even in real life, that unhappy couple that's sitting there eating in silence
Mhm.
as though they've run out of things to talk about? And it's like, dude, you can't think of one open-ended question just to make your partner's night or just to,
Yeah. Literally anything.
reminisce. Yeah,
or there's
like,
just so much resentment about something that they just want to make it miserable for the
yeah,
other person.
or you just assume that you know
Yeah.
everything about someone. And I don't think you ever can,
No,
right?
well, I mean, relationships go through cycles, and there is a point where if a relationship is not going to work out, there are like red flags along the way, which of course we totally ignore.
What are those?
Oh, yeah, what are those? What are those? What are those, Doc?
Red flag would be like somebody who puts you down in subtle ways.
Oh my God.
Like yeah, like why are you wearing that, or why are you hanging out with that person, or what are you doing, or they try to change you, the chameleon thing, but they try to change the thing about you that you really like.
Who you
And-
are.
Yeah.
Or being
Exactly.
hypercritical.
Yes, hypercritical. Other red flags along the way would be that they complain about a lot of things. I mean, for some people, complaining is like an Olympic sport. They love complaining.
Within the relationship,
Yes.
I'm assuming you're
But they're
talking
just
about,
complaining and nitpicky, and they just have a lot of negative point of view, and they're never happy. No matter everything is always just a little bit off. So you're always in this feeling of like, I don't know if this is the thing that's going to work, right? But then as a relationship starts to maybe turn, it would be like having secrets, avoiding each other, not being supportive if somebody decides to make a change. Like they change their hair, and then that totally just becomes this like,
I wasn't ready for this.
yes, you didn't ask me. And I know some of
Yeah.
that could be cultural and stuff like that, but generally speaking, in relationships, we want to feel like we're valued, because you are not the same person in a relationship at the beginning that you are 6 months later.
100%.
You're never the person that you break up with is not the person you fell for.
Yeah.
Right?
Seriously.
And it's not
That's
them
sad.
who changed. You both changed. You evolve.
Yeah.
And you probably start to recognize, like, I don't want to be, like, here's something that is a non-negotiable for me. And it could be something small. It might be checking in. Like, I know you're going to be working late. Can you just check in and let me know what's going on? And then that person doesn't do it. They stop doing that. That could be a subtle flag
Indicator?
of, like, they just don't respect you anymore.
So gotta keep up the
Yeah.
open-ended questions.
And send each other reels. Send each other reels. You know,
Yeah.
just,
Yeah.
you know, it doesn't matter if they've seen it before. Open them.
That's good, man. Reels, dude, reels will save your relationship.
Reels rule.
Thanks, Instagram.
We're going to bleep that. Just because we need to sponsor at some point. We can't
Yeah.
keep giving it away.
Yeah.
That was good.
Toxic relationships.
Well, did we cover toxic relationships?
So I think a toxic relationship is usually one where you're trying to fix a part. You're trying to find a piece of yourself in another person, and maybe not even recognizing that you're doing that,
Whoa.
but maybe you're feeling anxious about a social situation, and then you get together with that person who is totally a social butterfly, and their energy is pulling you up to that, but that it doesn't really feel natural to you. When your relationships start to have too much of this dynamic of, I want to be independent, but I also want to be together, or I want to be able to trust you, but I also want to have a little bit of autonomy, that's when it starts to create this, like, friction, and a lot of conflict starts to occur. But sometimes there are just people that have this charisma about them that you can be like, I totally am a confident individual, and then you'll meet this person and you are just attracted to them like moth to a flame,
Yeah.
and you can't even explain why. So one of those red flags is, like, is it an obsessive kind of a relationship where you feel as though you can't not be around them? And is there so much communication that, like, early on, like, oh my God, I love you so much, or this is the best thing that's ever happened in my life.
Love bombing.
Love bombing. Yes. That's an early warning sign of this is probably not healthy, because you can't let a person absorb you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then sometimes people do that because they're so afraid of being hurt that they don't want to let go, and they don't realize that they're doing some of those behaviors.
Now, are you talking about the love bomber or the
Mm.
one getting love bombed?
Ooh, good
That's what I
one.
was going to ask.
Yeah. There are some people who are love bombers because they are intentional love bombers, and it's a game for them. And they
A
really,
tactic.
yes, they're just about collecting
Ooh,
people.
yeah, that's a good way to put
A
it.
notch on the old belt.
Yes, as you might say. Yes.
Yeah,
But-
you might say.
Please don't look at my belt.
But they,
Hold
but
all the way around.
it's really just about control and power and having this sense of ownership of another person. They're not interested in the person. They're interested
In the win.
in the win. Yeah, exactly.
Mm.
And then if you find yourself on
fucking
the
pussy
receiving
bandit.
end of a being love bombed, like, it feels really good, you know, when someone's giving you all that attention.
Yeah. Especially if you haven't had it.
Yes.
And
Or had it in
especially
that
if you're
way.
in your 20s. Oh, a love bomb feels like a fairy tale.
I know, but you
Shout
have
out
to
to
give
the 20s.
Yeah.
Shout out to the 1920s.
Yes.
The roaring 20s.
But you have to give yourself space, you know, like,
Hey, shout out space.
You got to be pragmatic a little
Yeah.
bit.
My
Mhm.
girlfriend had brought it up one time. She was like, it's just so alarming, like, when you see people get into relationships and they're going in hot. It's
Yeah.
like extreme. She was like, I just have this theory that it goes out the way it comes in. So it
Mhm.
can just abruptly die as fast as
Oh,
you
yeah.
abruptly
relationships that start out as like 100% passion usually fizzle out within a year.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Because
And the ones that don't have quite like a hard, like growing pain, like
Mhm.
That's a good little side note
what?
on like a trauma bond. Those are dangerous.
Those would be
Extra
very
dangerous.
toxic.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Like you're just getting together because you both just went through a really bad breakup and now you want to commiserate over that.
Or
Oh,
even
yeah.
in family situations, like you growing or moving on, they take so personally, or like you're abandoning them just because they're trauma bonded with you
Yeah.
from your upbringing or what have you.
Mm-hmm.
And then, yes, very dangerous. Shout out to trauma bonds.
Hey,
Yep.
no,
Yep.
actually,
No, no
Cheers
shout
to
outs.
that.
I'm not. No.
Mm-hmm.
No,
The best
You're
no.
the one that brought it up, bro.
The best
No, I don't
relationships.
know.
I think the best or the healthiest kind of a relationship is a relationship that can ebb and flow in good times and bad times. And that even when you are really mad at each other, you still really like each other. So because I can be
Okay.
kind of a bitch when I get into a conflict, the best phrase that I learned to say, that I had to learn to say was, I don't like this conversation, but I still like you.
That's big.
Mm.
And those are the hardest too, is when you're when there's no, you guys are not going to agree on this. Like you
Mhm.
literally have to agree to disagree.
Mhm.
Like those are the hardest to just like
Mhm.
accept and let go.
And you know what? I think when you find, like, if you're thinking about a romantic partner or a life partner or what, even just like a really good friend, you're not always going to get along.
yeah.
There are going to be times when you just don't get along, but how do you have that disagreement without it becoming so treacherous that you just want to destroy it?
Yeah. And then if you're a catastrophic thinker, I may have been. And it's just so hard not to just see a situation like, oh, like, why am I doing this? It's like, this isn't
Yeah,
worth
that's
it.
how
Like,
I am too.
I'm explosive. Like, this is going to have, like, you
Mhm.
get to point Z before A, B, and C.
For me, it's
Exactly.
like I get to the point where I'm like, do I even want to be dealing
Yeah.
with this? And it was like, yesterday was fine, bitch. Relax.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
Oh.
Well, now we know who to call.
ghost. Oh, yeah, I know. She's like,
You're just like
boundaries.
messaging. Yeah.
She's like, maybe we talk about
Boundaries.
boundaries now.
Were you gonna say Ghostbusters? Right?
Yeah.
That's right. They'll
That's
show
what you
up.
call when you get
I was-
ghosted, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's it. Ghostbusters for ghosted.
Oh
Yeah.
my gosh. They should do
Shout
that.
out Ghostbusters.
All right. So I think we've reached that time now for
Mhm,
sure.
Yeah.
mhm.
Where we move on to, I wish we would have put out a call for advice letters. She would have been great at advice. Do you need advice on anything?
It's too much.
Okay.
Mm.
I'll book her for the day.
Okay.
Okay. So we're going to move on to our tattoo cover-up story. That is our segment where we tell a story that may be embarrassing, scandalous,
Naughty,
Um,
unbelievable,
bull.
scary.
So, is it ghost story or like angels? I don't know. I am not. You got to
I'm
preface this
invested.
that I did not grow up in a particularly faith-based home.
You
but-
did not?
No. But when I was about 4, my parents and I went on vacation in Florida, and it was either right before or right after some kind of tropical storm, and I'm sure we just couldn't get a refund, and that's why we went anyway. And so I was really small, and my mom and I were walking along the water, just like in the water, and this wave came up and took me out.
Jesus.
And, I remember so vividly that I was just kind of like tumbling in the water, and it was all bright all around me. And
Oh, girl,
but
you
I
were
didn't
dead.
scare. I wasn't scared. I didn't feel any pain or any anxiety, and I just had this sense of total calm. But then I had this thought, I want to go back to my mom. And then at that point, I got pulled out from the lifeguard and like threw up all this water and sand and whatever. And I was like 4.
You were like seeing the light.
I
you
guess.
saw the light.
So then, shortly after that, like as we were on the way home, and mind you, I am a little white girl. At the time, we lived in Alabama. Okay. I had no cultural experiences. We're driving home and I started talking. My mom has told me this story a million times. I started having a full conversation with these two little boys, Pedro and Kano. And they were like,
there weren't a lot of Pedros in Alabama.
No, there were not a lot of
then.
Pedros in Alabama. And I started talking to them, and they were brothers that were like a little bit older than me. One was like my age and one was a little bit older than me. And I still remember what they looked like. That Pedro had like darker hair and darker eyes. And this was like the early 80s. So they were wearing like bell-bottom pants, and he was wearing a striped shirt. And then the brother had red hair, and he was like lighter complexion, but freckles and stuff. And he was wearing corduroy bell bottoms and like a yellow shirt with white.
Do you remember this yourself, or is this from your mom telling you?
I remember them. I remember what they looked like.
So they were there with you physically.
They were there with me physically.
You could see them, and they looked completely normal. It could have been.
This was right
an
after
actual.
that happened, and I talked to them, and I would like play with them, and it got to the point where, when we would eat, I would insist that there was like a plate for them at the table. And I mean, this went on for years.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Dude.
And until I was old enough, like to go to school and stuff. And then I couldn't be that kid that had a pretend friend.
You read
at
the room?
school. Yes. But they were always at home. They were always there.
Whoa.
And then
are they here now?
I don't know. But then I think I was about 9 or 10. I mean, I was much older, and we were moving again. And I had this just decision, like, you guys don't need to come with me. And they were
It's
gone.
all subconscious.
Yeah.
Whoa.
But like they grew up with me, and
did you see them get older?
Yeah. I mean, they didn't really get older, but because they were like always the little kids. But they were always with me. And it's not like I still played with them when I got to be that age, but they were always like a presence of like, I knew they were around. And then I felt like when I was a few years later after that, I was in this really bad bus accident. Like our school, this is a whole other story.
Like?
Yeah. But
girl.
I was in this bus accident. The school bus got in an accident, and I flew through the windshield.
What?
Yes.
All casual.
I didn't get hurt. Aside from like a few scrapes and bumps and bruises.
The wheels on the bus.
Yep. And I felt like it was because my little buddies were there to like
Pedro
protect
got
me.
you.
Pedro and Kano?
Pedro and Kano.
And
they
now
came to Alabama with me. Yeah.
And now that is Pedro Pascal.
Maybe.
And that man.
Maybe it was Pedro Pascal the whole time.
Dude, that is so crazy. How old were you when you drowned?
4.
That's little.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
I've been very interested in this whole other side of the veil,
Mhm.
business. And there's this one guy that I listen to a lot, and he was saying he like died twice.
Oh, wow.
And he brought back, but ever since then he was able to see these things. And it's kind of like you get in touch, and it opens up your, a whole new.
Oh, yeah. Like I'll have these little moments of like, we all have intuition or whatever, but I'll have these little moments like this is going to happen.
Yeah.
And then it kind of does.
Mm.
Or I've had other moments of the other side too, where I knew when like I had a family member who was sick, but nobody knew they were sick. And I had a sense like I should call them and be like, are you okay? And then they told me that they were really ill.
You've
and I
got
was
the
like,
gift.
it's kind of creepy.
You should
Yeah.
open that up a little bit
Have
more.
you guys watched that documentary on Netflix? This is years old at this point, but it was about death and like what's on the other side and different people that have it's like 4 parts. One of the episodes is people that have been brought back to life, like had seen the light, and some of them were dead for like this one lady, she drowned. She was dead for 6 minutes, and it's things that they saw or things that happened afterwards. And it's examined from every episode. It's examined from a different side, like what lies beyond. One of them is all about seances and like mediums and shit. Do you guys know what I'm talking
I don't
about?
think so.
I'll have to put it in here and everybody can watch if you're interested. But that's totally some shit that would be on that.
Yeah.
Pedro.
Yeah.
Shout out Pedro and
Pedro and
Kano.
Kano.
Yep. Wherever they are.
Que no?
One day I'll meet them again.
Que no?
That's probably what he was saying, and you were just too white at that point.
I was
You hadn't
like,
been to
what?
California yet. He said, "Oh yes, his name's Kano." All right. So, do you offer any? Are you present online at all with your communication expertise?
freelance?
Do you have anything to plug?
Not really. I mean, I mostly just do it for my job,
Okay.
but I don't do it like outside of my academic elements, but I'm always happy to take questions. People can
cool.
find me on the Insta.
And where can they find you on the Insta?
Where could they give you some open-ended questions?
I am at Kiki Flambé.
All right. And do you have anything else to plug?
I mean, if I want to be totally like a good partner, I'll plug my husband's little woodworking business.
Oh, perfect.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What's that?
At Rumpus Room Woodworks. He makes wooden stuff.
Okay. Is
Awesome.
and he sells I want to see now.
That's a cool logo.
Yeah.
Oh wow. I wish I could do woodworking.
Yeah.
He taught himself
pretty.
because during the pandemic, he was furloughed, and I was like, you need to find something to do because you're driving me crazy.
I'm about to get mean.
And look at him go.
Yeah.
Yeah, you guys definitely have to check this stuff out. There's a tiki style cat staircase. That is so sweet.
She has a little torch in there.
Yeah, she's her little tiki bar.
It's a speakeasy. All right. Well, thank you so much
Thank
for
you.
coming on. As for us, you guys know already where to find us. I'm at Sinai_Kwai on Instagram. The show is at Tattoo Budcast. If you are somebody that is always watching and has not yet subscribed, please subscribe because we need it and it'll help open up opportunities for us.
Yeah.
Also, share a fucking clip this week, please.
Please.
All right.
And who are you?
I don't even know anymore. After all this emotional talk and all these things I've been doing wrong. I am Jimmy Jam. You could find me on Instagram with all of my contact information on there. And for all of our guests, we like to have them sign us out by looking at the camera and saying, "Thanks for watching the Tattoo Budcast. We'll see you at your next session."
All right. Thanks for watching the Tattoo Budcast. We'll see you at your next session.
She's a good listener.
Yay. The communication on this girl. Thanks so much.
Yeah, thank you.
That was so
you.
great.
That was
Thank you
fun.
for doing this.
Yeah, thanks for asking me.
Yeah, I was so scared. I was like talking myself in and out of it your whole session. I wasn't even paying attention to the tattoo. I'm just kidding.
I know we didn't even get to psychic network and taxidermy and the time I got shot.
Psychic Network, what's that?
I worked at the psychic network for a while.